hello, friends. Well, we survived Iowa, barely, with a team of ground hounds from Minnesota, Colorado, and yes, even a native Iowan. We set out to find good stories about the Iowa caucuses. Can citizen journalists make a difference? Can we find stories that are different than what you might see on network television? Let's look back. When we arrived in Iowa, the Uptake's Colorado director, Corinne McDermott, was first on the scene, and we were stuck in a blogger ghetto.
I couldn't help but notice a slight difference in accommodations. Bloggers. Everybody else.
We set up some live videocasts and grabbed interviews with our fellow independent media makers.
What have you been kind of itching to tell people but doesn't really fit into the mainstream 5-minute typical interview?
Sure, I would say that the traditional media tends to quantify things, everything that they can quantify and put on a chyron in a list, or comparing percentages for polling. That stuff is what the traditional media relies upon for their reporting. In truth, at the core, the caucuses are about relationship building, and because they require such a sacrifice from a caucus goer to actually show up at a specific time, spend in many cases 3 or 4 hours declaring publicly their support for a candidate really has to seal the deal and forge a personal connection.
But we knew the real stories were not going to be found inside a glorified school lunchroom. Our crew hit the streets in search of real Iowans. Chuck Tomlinson knew exactly where to go.
As the media descends and asks questions and wants to find the average voter, the ordinary Iowan, the average Joe in a coffee shop, or the Waveland Diner. And we talked to some customers, and we talked to the owner of the Waveland Diner, and we'll find out what it's like to be part of the process.
Well, my name's David Stone, but everyone knows me as Stoney. So, for Des Moines, we're the last diner around. So, other than that, it's the corporate chains or the box stores, and so in that case, you have to go get approval from the corporate office, and so that never happens.
The Uptake's Chuck Olson, hey, that's me, drove 2 hours north of Des Moines to talk with a former Republican woman who decided to caucus for Obama.
Okay, good job. Thanks, guys. He has Angelman syndrome. It's a deletion of the 15th chromosome, so he will need care the rest of his life. Huh?
So, Adam, who will you be caucusing for tonight?
Adam?
Spider-Man or Obama?
Adam said Obama.
Back in Des Moines, all the campaigns had huge rallies. Ron Paul?
What will happen to the government if we don't have an income tax? And what are you going to replace it with in order for the government to exist? And you know what I want to replace it with? I want to replace it with nothing.
The war. He's talking about bringing our troops home, and he's not talking 4 years from now. He's talking now, which is what I want.
Barack Obama?
He was talk to volunteers as they're filling out with their experiences in caucusing and door knocking and phone making tonight.
Joe Henry.
Joe Henry, what did you think about the rally, Joe?
That was fantastic. It was great. It was all about hope. It was about having a new type of president, hopefully.
Hillary Clinton.
America needs to pick a president who will make the changes that we all know that we have to have.
And John Edwards with a little help from Mellencamp.
America, enough is enough. We want our country back. We want our democracy back. My wife was 13 years old when I wrote this song.
Of course, the campaigns didn't always want citizen journalists hanging around. Iowa resident Roger Routh showed up unannounced at Obama headquarters.
Curious as to why you threw
the press out. You guys can have something later?
We may. We'll definitely let you know. But if you guys just wait on the sidewalk until then, we'll get you something. Okay?
What's the problem with having the press?
What can I do for you?
You don't want to answer the question?
Finally, the day of decision arrived. January 3rd, Caucus Day. How the hell do caucuses work? Noah Cunin and Regal Johnson jumped into the fray.
Obama's trying to pull you over to their group. They don't need them. They don't need them. To our side. Obama is the best.
We've experienced 8 years of despair with this Republican president. I hope in my lifetime I'll never see another Republican president.
And are you going to caucus tonight?
I'm going to caucus tonight.
Who are you caucusing for?
I'm caucusing for everybody. We're all eating.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, good citizen journalism is good journalism. Maybe it doesn't matter how much money you have. Maybe it doesn't matter what room you're in.
There's not much going on. I thought, hey, let's get comfortable.
Good stories are out there for the taking. We like to think we found a few here in Iowa. For Veracifyer and the entire Uptake team, I'm Chuck Olson.